Hello and welcome to the collapse experiment. I keep seeing this thing on labels at the supermarket, and it's really starting to irritate me. And it's this thing that they keep putting on milk and on cheese and on all this other stuff like grass-fed. Grass-fed. Everything is grass-fed now. As in, it's better quality. It's the thing that the cows are okay. The only time that grass-fed should ever be on a label at the supermarket is with beef products. Because traditionally, for the last 100 some odd years, cows get ready to go to market. You get paid by the pound. Ranchers do. So they want fat cows. They also want the marbling and the meat because the fat content of the beef gives it a lot of flavor. So they end up feeding a lot of corn and a lot of grain the last month or two to these cows to get them nice and plump so that when they go to the butcher and they're processed and they're weighed, they weigh a lot more and the rancher gets more money. Now, of course, the fat content of the beef, a lot of people are getting upset about. It's also, they have an issue with the whole E. coli thing, which really has more to do with the butchering process and just how fast and rapid it is. And you get shit in the meat, Bob, and then all of a sudden, some kid is getting sick. But that really doesn't have anything to do with milk. This has nothing to do with milk. I live in northern Michigan. A couple miles down the street from my house is a town called McBain. And there are a ton of dairy farms there. And you know what they stockpile for the winter every year? Hay, grass. Bales and bales of the stuff because the cows need to keep eating during the winter in order to keep producing milk. It's all they eat. There's no corn. There's no grain. They're not getting butchered soon. I don't even know if a cow will produce milk if it's not eating the right stuff. So they're constantly being grass-fed all the time. Like, it's not an issue. And this whole thing of like the Irish butter and the cows graze out in the fields, it's no different. It's really no different. So this whole grass-fed thing has been irking the crap out of me. I feel like they just added on there. I think what ended up happening was they saw how people started buying the grass-fed beef, and then some companies were like, our cows are grass-fed. What if we just put that on the jug? What if we just stamp grass-fed on the jug? Now you're tapping into the grass-fed beef market. And people are buying your milk more. And then all the other milk companies are like, hey, our cows are grass-fed too. They're all grass-fed. There's no grain-fed milking cow. It's not a thing. And then all the milk that gets turned into cheese, and the cheese has from grass-fed cows. No kidding. It's just, oh my God. It's like when you're looking at crackers in like the chips and the crackers, all the stuff that's in that aisle, and you have some of the crackers that will say low fat. Low fat, really. It's also baked. So what fat exactly would be in this cracker that's baked? It's not fried. There's no oils in it. Like, of course it's fat free. Why are you stating the obvious? It just, half of the bullshit in the supermarket is is just that. It's bullshit. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I walk down these aisles and I look at the labels and I'm just like, how dumb do they think the population is? And how dumb is the population that this stuff is still working? It doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, grass fed. This is what the AI overview means. I guess every time I go into Google, I'm feeding AI because that's what I want. I want to help Skynet for some reason. I don't understand these people at all. So, grass-fed meat comes from animals that have eaten only grass and forage their entire lives. Forage? No. Like, we have entire tens or hundreds of acres of fields up here that are processed solely for baling hay and straw. Like, it just... No, they don't forage, but they are fed grass, with the exception of milk consumed before weaning. The term grass-fed can also refer to animals that have been raised on a 100% grass-fed diet, which is why they're adding this crap to milk and cheese and yogurt. The USDA's regulation regulates the labeling of meat and egg products and has guidance for grass-fed or 100% grass-fed claims on meat. Okay. Labeling on meat and egg products. Cage-free. Don't get me started on cage-free. You can go look at my Chicken Wars video. One disadvantage of grass-fed beef is that the animals are exposed to environmental factors like wind. This actually says this. Environmental factors like wind. Okay, I did the AI watch Twister too many times? Like, I don't know how wind affects cattle, but which can affect their growth rate and make it take longer for them to finish. Did not know that. Doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me. Here are some characteristics of grass-fed meat. Okay, the whole... Let's go through this anyways. Maybe we can touch on this meat topic too. Because the thing is, it's the health nuts that want the grass-fed beef, but then the people who really like steak couldn't give a crap. They're like, look at that marbling. Hell yeah. Grass-fed cows are leaner than grain-fed cows because they only eat grass. Okay. Different fat profile. The fat in grass-fed beef has a different fatty acid profile than grain-fed beef. Yeah, well, more flavorful and nutritious. Some say grass-fed beef is... Some say. Okay? You can always pay somebody to say something. So, yeah, some say grass-fed beef is more flavorful and nutritious than grass-fed beef. I'm not seeing any studies. They're not linking to any studies here as to whether or not it's more nutritious. Tender and juicy. Some say grass-fed beef maintains a high standard of tenderness and juiciness. Okay. So yeah, this is all the grass-fed info from Google. I wish they would stop doing this. I don't need to see it on dairy products. Like, if I want milk, I'm just going to buy milk. I'm going to assume it's pasteurized because it has to be at the store. Other than that, I don't know what the hell else you... Grass-fed. All milking cows are grass-fed. I can't say that enough. So, yeah. Other than that, and like fat-free crackers that are baked. Just, wow. Okay. You're not going to see, if you see fat-free on like Ritz crackers, It's the baked crackers. Otherwise, the other ones, you know they're going to have that nice buttery taste to them. You know there's some fat in that. It's the ones that taste good. That's what those are. So yeah. Just have you seen anything at the stores that irritates the crap out of you like this does, where you just look at it and you're like, of course it is. Like, this makes no sense to me. Weird. Keep on typing.